Hello. It's so nice to see you again. How are you doing today? Long week. Well, we will dive right into that. In the meantime, go ahead and make yourself comfortable. Yep, on the couch here, or you can sit on the pillow at a table if you want. Would you like a cup of tea or anything? You're good? Okay. Well, we both know this isn't your first session, so I'll spare you from my usual intro routine. But as you know, we're going to check in emotionally, chit-chat a little, dive right into whichever kind of art you want to make, and then we'll check in again and discuss it. Does that sound okay? Okay, perfect. So let me just get some things together. Okay. So, were you able to do your homework from our last session? Great, okay. And did you find that keeping a daily journal was beneficial? Okay. Because I know last time we talked about feeling overwhelmed, feeling like you have 1,000 thoughts in your head and you have no way to get them out. Okay, so the journaling did help a little with that. Perfect. And I know last time we used acrylic paint, which was a lot of fun. I have that option again today, but like I said, we'll discuss that. So let's just get right into our check-in section. So can you tell me a little bit more about this long week that you're having? Okay. Have you found that those feelings have manifested at all? In symptoms of anxiety, physical symptoms, lashing out, at anyone around you? Okay. And I know you mentioned last time that you don't mind me taking notes. If that ever changes, just let me know, okay? Okay. Okay, and that happened yesterday? And how do you feel about that right now with me? Okay. Okay. And has anything else been weighing on your mind? Yeah, the start of a new year brings a lot of different emotions for different people. Some people find it refreshing and joyous. Some people find it stressful, like all of a sudden they have this burden to be a new person and change all of their bad habits, which we both know does not happen overnight. Okay, so you've been feeling a bit of that, okay. All right. Let's both take a moment to just take a deep breath. Exhale. We're going to do our normal body check-in. So what I need you to do is close your eyes, sit up straight, continue taking a few deep breaths with me. Are you ready? Okay. Let's just clear our minds and feel what your body is feeling without placing any judgment on it. Try to assign feeling or shape, texture, color to what you feel in your body or in your mind without thinking any actual thoughts which might be hard to do. And what I mean by that is if a worry or anxiety or judgment enters your mind, just let it float out of your mind again. We're only focusing on assigning descriptor words to what we feel in our body. Keep taking deep breaths. Good. I'm going to write down a few of the things they're saying. Okay. And where do you feel that in your body? So that emotion is sitting really heavily in your chest. What texture would you say it has? Okay. Okay. Now, as we take one last deep breath, feel the weight of your body in the chair, the weight of your legs and your arms. Just trying to practice mindfulness. All right, deep breath. Exhale. Good. Okay. Now is the last bit of our check-in before we begin the art therapy. I'm just going to light a candle just to kind of signify that this is a safe space. You can say whatever is on your mind. And we're not going to visualize burning away any negative energy or anything like that, because we're here together to discuss anything you might feel, good or bad. Okay. So we're just going to take a moment, listen to these sounds, and then we can choose what medium you want to work with today. Of course, you can continue taking deep breaths. As you know, art therapy allows us to use expressive, nonverbal methods to process what's going on in our mind, emotions and trauma that may be hidden or that haven't fully come to a verbal development. It's very childlike and intuitive and freeing. Once you've made your piece of art, then we will come back together and try to interpret it. While you're making the art, I can talk to you or guide you as much as you want. As you know, we can do either structured or unstructured. Structured meaning I guide you pretty closely in ideas and feelings that maybe you want to use to draw. It's more like giving you parameters. Or it can be completely unstructured, where you just completely take the reins. All right. So let me show you what you can choose to work with today. Again, now you can relax, move your shoulders, get more comfortable. Okay, perfect. So first, we have some watercolors. Let me show you. And of course, you're allowed to use mixed media if you would like. As you can see here, we have a lot of different colors to choose from. And how you would use this is you would fill this pen with water, and then you squeeze it to make some of the water come out into the brush tip. And then you can dab it here. There's a palette where you can mix colors. Watercolor is fun because it's less messy than acrylic, and it's more forgiving in my opinion. I have some watercolor paper or some mixed media paper if you choose to go this direction. Okay, so probably no paint today. Let me show you what else I have. So you recognize this bag probably from our last session. But inside I have over 100 different colored pencils. Colored pencils are some of my favorite tools. Not just in art therapy, but just in art in general. So as you can see, I have pretty much every color you can imagine or want. And the great thing about colored pencils is that they are excellent in mixed media. Do these call out to you at all? Okay, perfect. I know you said no paint, but I did recently buy a new kind of paint called gouache. But I'll move on from this quickly. I just wanted to let you know. It's kind of a mix between watercolor and acrylic. It's water-based. Though honestly, I've never used oil paints in any of my sessions, so almost all paint I work with is water-based. So I do love gouache. We won't use it today. I'm just happy to be expanding my repertoire. And lastly, I have some Prismacolor markers. These aren't your ordinary markers. These are blending markers, which means they are very high quality. You can use them for shading and mixing. It's hard to describe until you use it, but you have two sides. You have a brush tip style here, and you have a fine point for finer lines. And I have also very many. The box is right here. As you can see here, once again, pretty much every color you can imagine. And if you don't see a color there, that's the nice thing about these markers, is that you can blend them to create colors. Okay, so you'd like to try the markers? Perfect. Let me just grab the paper. Okay. This kind of paper is very thick, so it won't bleed through or wrinkle when you use the markers on it. Would you like to also maybe use some colored pencils? Okay, well, you have both of them right here. Let me just set this right here. Okay, so would you like to do structured or unstructured today? Unstructured? Okay, perfect. Let me just give you a little review again. You are just going to let your body make the motions, do broad strokes, any colors that call out to you without thinking too hard on it. You're just really trying to let the unconscious part of your brain make the art. Okay, if you have any questions or if you do end up wanting any guidance, just let me know. I will just be taking some notes and having some coffee. Okay, go ahead and start. What was that? Of course, yeah. You just want to layer any colors, shapes, changing thick lines to thin lines, textures, anything that comes to your mind that you want to draw. Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, yeah. So we want to avoid any judgment. So saying things like, it's already looking weird or that you don't like it, don't forget that the point is not to create a beautiful piece of art or something that looks good at all. We are completely avoiding any kind of judgment if we can. Of course. No, I think that's coming along perfectly. How are you feeling right now? Okay, it feels cathartic? Good. Just let me know when you're finished. I know you mentioned that you don't like when I watch you necessarily, so I'm just taking some notes for my own previous clients and just getting some work done. Okay. You're almost done? Okay, perfect. No rush at all, by the way. Okay, just adding finishing touches. Perfect. Finished? Perfect. Can I go ahead and see? Okay. Wow, you did incredible this time. I can tell. First of all, you have a lot going on in your mind, kind of like what you mentioned when you first arrived. So let's talk about this a little. And of course, if you feel anything doesn't resonate, just let me know. Alright. So I'm seeing here a lot of gray squiggles or a cloud. It's kind of a jumbled mess. Are you seeing the same thing? So this could probably be how your mind feels. I'm thinking because you chose gray that there's a lot of sadness or loneliness mixed in there and just a lot of confusion. Okay, do you want to talk about that a bit further? Does that resonate with you? It reminds me of a tangled ball of yarn, and you can see it has a start here, kind of goes out. Okay. Do you think that there's any reason why you've been feeling this way in particular? Okay, a lot of responsibility lately. That makes me look at this bright red square. It kind of looks like a cage, in my opinion, with a very liquid shape in the center. This could be how you see yourself, your true self, but you're in a cage. You have some yellow sparkles here. That can mean intense emotion, not just intense joy. It can be just any spark. Maybe this relates to you lashing out earlier, especially mixed around the red. It's both inside this confining shape and outside. And of course, I'm guessing you either consciously or subconsciously chose to draw eyes here. Do you feel like you've been having this pressure on you? You have a lot of people who have expectations of you, or even yourself. Here's some more squiggles. Blue. I'm seeing drops here and here. They look a lot like water drops, or potentially tears. Is that how you normally find yourself expressing sadness? That is, do you let yourself cry, or do you find yourself crying anytime you're feeling big emotions? Okay. Now you have some more green here. What do these say to you? What were you feeling, if you could remember, when you drew these green shapes here? You felt them relate to the eyes, but you're not sure. Okay. Maybe a little happiness or relief. Interesting. Okay. So you chose pink here. Do you remember what you were feeling when you drew this particular section, including the insides? Okay. And I notice you use different methods of these sharper, boxed in shapes. Maybe this is your frustration taking different forms, at feeling very stuck. Okay. Do you have some dots here? Any idea what you think those could express? I think exactly the same. So I feel the biggest takeaways from this is feeling confused, lost, sad, feeling under a lot of pressure. Now, would you say that's mainly coming from people around you, society, or from yourself? Okay. Do you find these eyes scary at all? So you do feel a kind of scary, being watched sensation almost. Okay. And then the feeling of being trapped, we can talk about that as well. Do you want to tell me about some ways in your life that you've been feeling very stuck? Like you can't maybe express your true thoughts and feelings and emotions. Okay. That makes sense. I'm sorry to hear you've been going through that. But what I'm noticing is that you have a lot of life and love and fluidity, meaning creativity and flexibility, that you feel you are not in a place in your life that you can just let out and be free. And as for the sadness and confusion, do you have any methods for how you normally deal with when you're feeling very sad? Okay, I'm guessing this is related slightly to that situation we talked about our last session. Okay. And I am noticing it's not all bad. Like I said, these bursts of yellow can be joy, moments of joy that you felt. Same with how you described the green. Were there any highlights of your week that maybe were expressed through this part? Anything that happened that were good or joyful, exciting or promising? Oh, congratulations. That's a really big achievement. I'm thinking that's what this here is what your mind is trying to tell you. That you're allowed to feel proud of that. Even if some people would say it's not that big of an accomplishment, we both know that it is, and your subconscious knows that it is. Well, I think you did wonderfully this time. Of course, you can keep this. And since we brought up some pretty heavy stuff, some trauma adjacent stuff, let's go ahead and take another moment to just straighten our back, close our eyes, take a deep breath. Give ourselves compassion and be happy that you're working so hard. Another deep breath. And I always like just taking a moment before the session ends to just once again be present with our body and mindful, because consciously and subconsciously we were bringing up a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions. Exactly, so just be patient with yourself and compassionate with yourself. Deep breath. Good. Okay, so let's open our eyes. As for our homework this week, what I'm thinking is to just brainstorm a few ways that you can find a way to express that other side of you that you feel has been caged in, or work on adjusting the frame of which you view yourself, because you've been very critical of yourself. So every time you find yourself being very critical with those big eyes, just judging every mistake you make, to just close those eyes, forgive yourself, take a deep breath. And you'd like to continue journaling? Excellent. I love hearing that. I think a mixture of art therapy with journaling and verbal therapy is just the perfect combo. Okay, so you can take the next 5 or 10 minutes to continue taking deep breaths. You can take some notes over what you feel like you've learned. I'm not going to kick you out right away because I know you just went through a lot talking about some things that are pretty upsetting. So I'll be right here. And if you have any questions or want to talk about anything else for the remainder of our 10 minutes together, just let me know. Okay.